Good morning and welcome to episode 2. Today we are sat with the incredible Mental Health Charter talking around the topic of mental health. I hope you enjoy. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. How are we?
Good.
Yeah, good. And I've heard that there was a long drive down, so I super appreciate it. How long was the drive?
5 hours for me.
5 hours.
I've a couple of times.
I left at 3 a.m. just in case anybody in the room didn't know.
3 a.m. Okay, I hope you're listening.
And there were no Cadbury's cream eggs that were built in that was promised.
Oh, right.
It's an ongoing thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it
It's on.
I brought them one time and no, Kev does not let it draw.
Oh.
Boy, it is literally one time.
So if you could just individually just introduce yourself and name, job title and what you do for the lift industry.
Yeah.
Oh, stop me. Right, my name's Kevin Toomey. I'm 48 years of age. I'm the owner of Regal Elevators and Lift Consultants and part of the Lift Industry Mental Health Charter. Got that right, Mark? Didn't call it a charity. And I feel that them roles are very beneficial to give back to people's well-being. And then obviously running a company, wanted to do things myself. And so if I failed, I know that I failed it and it wasn't someone that failed me. So that was my story for wanting to go out on my own.
Yeah. I'm Mark Harding. I have a company called Ascension Lift Solutions. I carry out firefighting lift surveys, audits, a small amount of consultancy work, lift release training. I still do some site work, technical work, fault finding. So all the jobs I've done when I started in the industry, I actually do a little bit of all of them. So, yeah.
Nice, thank you.
And you started the charter?
I did. Yes, that is very true.
That's the important bit.
Jessica McDonnell, work at J&L Elevator Components, Sales and Marketing, and also sit on the committee for the charter.
Thank you. So the topic of mental health, I feel that it's still very 50-50 split, right? There's a lot of people in the world pushing it, advocates for it, and really wanted to push it and open it up as a topic, whereas I still feel like some people are struggling to open up with it. So today's topic is mental health, so we want to hear about what the charter does, and then we've just got a few questions around it. So just over to you there, Mark. How did the lift industry mental health charter begin and why?
So I suppose in sort of 2018, 2019, I started to experience a few of my own struggles, mainly around sleep. And that's probably related to my job at the time. I was working for other independent companies and a corporate business at the time. And probably through the nature of my role, because I was the director of a couple of smaller subsidiary businesses, it impacted my sleep. And then gradually it got worse and worse. And I'm an overthinker. I know that. I think things too much. I wake up at night and I think about them. And I think it got to such a point it was impacting my sleep and then it was impacting my work. And I ended up taking some time out of that business. One of the hardest things that I had to do at the time was actually tell my manager that I can't actually do this anymore. I'm going to have to take some time out. But leading up to that, I remember it really well, was the point leading up to that. I went to a client meeting and I could feel myself going in front of the client. And all he said to me, he went, "Are you all right?" I thought, I could feel myself going now. I could feel my eyes going and not quite the lip, but I thought, oh my God. So I come out of the meeting, I thought, you've got to do something about this. I'm obviously not, coping with things very well. And, you go into work and you do all the things that don't really matter. You do all the little jobs, you're still doing things, but all the stuff that you should be doing, you weren't really doing. And at the time, sort of as the years went on a bit further, we sort of going in the COVID period as well. We was having a lot of Teams calls then, and I remember doing Teams calls, and there'd be lots of people on the calls, but I'd be looking at my picture on the Teams thinking, "You look terrible." I don't want to swear, but you look really bad. And eventually I took some time out. So I took a few months out at the time, and because you're in a business and you're out of business, I don't care what people say. The people who work there know. Yeah, they can see that, and they could see that you're struggling with stuff, and they know about it. So when I actually come back into work, the guys there, to be honest with you, were great, you know, and I was probably more open about it at that time than I was previously. And because of that, I started arranging some mental health courses within the businesses I was working. And then you start to learn a little bit more about the people you're working with and actually their own lives. And you think, you know, work is nothing compared to actually some of the stuff going on.
Sure.
So when I left and formed my own company, I wanted to carry it on. So now comes on to the question. I know it's a bit of a long-winded way around it.
No.
But
That's fine.
I thought, how can I carry that on? And I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking, well, can I do something more on an industry basis, which is quite a big task in itself, because, you know, there's lots of companies and this, that and the other. And I think it was coming up to Liftex at the time, not the one just gone, the previous one. And I remember sitting there on I'm sure it was a Saturday evening, because I like Formula One, and I was watching the Formula One qualifying or something, but there was some sort of accident. And I'd literally just built my own website for Ascension Lift Solutions. So I'd gained some knowledge from that, and I thought, I'm going to build a website. So whilst I was waiting for the motor racing to start, I built fundamentally the charter website. Just thought of a name, just a logo, and just all these things that I'm not really, I mean, I sort of dabble in lots of things. I'm not exactly skilled in it. Well, I learnt it and I done it. And then at that time, it was linked to my own business, Ascension Lift Solutions. But I soon realised that people don't necessarily want it linked in a business in that way. So anyway, I created it. I then went to Liftex about a month and a half later, and then started sort of promoting it randomly. So I sort of put it out there a little bit, which is, looking back, it's quite a, I don't want to blame you, it's quite a brave thing to do, because you're actually approaching people, asking them to get involved with mental health and this, that, and the other. And, you know, I've been in the lift industry, you know, 20 odd years, 26, 27 years, but all of a sudden, all of that goes out the window, and you're becoming known for a person involved in mental health. So yeah, I done that, went around Liftex, then decided that it needs to really be its own company. And I think in the February the following year, roughly there or thereabouts, if I've got any dates wrong, I apologise.
We won't hold you to it.
February, yeah, ultimately not. There'll be people now on companies now saying, no, he's got that wrong. No.
He's a liar.
So yeah. I think about February 2023, I decided to form it as a community interest company, because I was on my own at the time. I didn't really have capacity to start a business, which is what I was doing. Start another business that you're trying to an industry. And then create a charity. It's like, I can't do that, you know. And bearing in mind, I'd actually sort of had some of my own personal struggles, you know, with things as well. I was a bit of a glutton for punishment.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So I then created as a community interest company, because with a community interest company, although you're bound by some charitable rules and regulations, finances, this and other, the internal structure can actually be slightly different, more of a business than with a charity. You've got trustees, etc., etc. So it was just easier for me to do at the time. So then the charter formed. I had the first promoted a football match, started a football match to actually try and generate some money for the charter, because I'd actually paid for it myself.
Right.
To create that, so I was probably a couple of thousand out of pocket. So I created called it the charity football match, which I done at Dartford, which actually raised, I was talking about it earlier actually, probably, I can't remember exactly, but probably 13, 14, 15,000 or something like that. There was some cost involved, but once you start taking them out, and with that I was also able to pay myself back that I started it with. So then the charter becomes self-sustainable then.
Yeah.
You know, so we had money in the bank, probably 6,000-7,000 at the time. It was self-sustainable. And I thought, well, to get more people involved in the charter and to make it more credible, because the last thing I wanted was people thinking, well, we'd like to donate to it, but it's just one person. And there could be a bit of mistrust there. So then come the committee, so which was these guys as well, Jim, Petra, Scott, Marcus, come to the committee, which really helped me, because you've then got more people involved. It gives it more, it's not just one person doing it, and you've got people from all different parts of the industry. You've got suppliers, you've got insurance, you've got people who are, I say subcontracting, but you're running your own business with your own staff as well, but you're doing work for other companies, and from I say consultancy route, but I'm actually doing all sorts of different things. But you had all different people involved in the committee as well,
with all different experiences,
all different totally different experiences and everything. And then I met Petra. I say I met Petra, but I'm pretty sure I say linked up on LinkedIn. And then we met, and then Petra come to the football match, and then we started with the money generated from that. We started running mental health courses, which are free, and to date now we've probably trained 60 people, mental health first aiders, for nothing,
really cool.
Which has all been from money raised from events, and then things have just sort of evolved from there, really. So yeah.
Do you think lockdown obviously opened up mental health, didn't it? Lockdown for a lot of people. Do you think that helped you push what you wanted to do? If lockdown hadn't happened, do you think people would be open about talking about it?
Potentially, yes. So lockdown in itself did actually have a bit of an impact on me, because I wasn't furloughed or anything like that. I was the person at the time doing the furloughing, and I hated it, because I felt like it's almost sitting in front of someone saying, not that they're being made redundant, because that wasn't the case, but I just hated delivering that. And then you had to rotate people around and bring other people in, and some people didn't want to. And it got to a point I thought, I want to be furloughed. I don't want to be doing all this. Yeah. And, I found that I was working at home, I was holidaying at home, I was doing everything at home. And any opportunity to actually get out of home, legally at the time, whether it's a piece of paper saying you're going here, there, or whatever you're doing, you would take. So from that perspective, it probably did have an impact on me personally. But as far as people opening up, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely helped. Forget the lift industry.
It's highlighted as
generally.
It's highlighted, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's had to, because I think it had such an impact on such a profound amount of people.
Huge.
That it's had to
make people think about what was important, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not just work every day. Like,
to knock down the barrier of stigma,
Yeah.
and it helped knock the barrier down, because it affected a wider audience. Because they say, don't they, everyone suffers from mental health. It's what the degree you suffer with it.
I don't think the world embraced how much people would open up. If you know what I mean. Like, I don't think the world was ready for that.
Yeah.
And people you spoke to, you must have spoke to different people about your own fears, and then other people would go, yeah, I actually do that, and it would be people you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And that was right. And then that's what they say: problem shared is problem halved.
But what it did highlight is maybe where you could turn to. So
Signpost, you mean?
Yeah. But I didn't really learn that until I actually went through that process. Because I remember ringing up my GP, and the GP actually said to me, "Why are you ringing?" And I remember I said, "I don't know, actually." And I actually just made an appointment. So I just, but then I've learned a lot from my own experiences. But going back to the COVID thing, I think that's, the signposting and where to go to and what to do, it's probably helped us that as well.
Yeah.
So,
Kev, just over to you there. Have you or someone that you know ever struggled with mental health on the job? And what helped that? What made it better?
Well, I've struggled with mental health.
Yeah.
I would say more noticeably since I've owned my own company, because the reason being is that all the stresses and strains are on me. To meet your operating costs, families rely on you for their income, for what feeds their life. So in turn, I have to do everything within the company to sort of gain the work, help do work. It puts a lot of stress on your life, and you don't realise that, like I say, the degree of mental health, or how much that you've actually got yourself from what stresses that life puts on you. And life, as we know in this country, is becoming even more harder with the rising of, living costs and the rest of it. That I think that mental health now is being highlighted. And like what I said a minute ago, because you're sharing with people you wouldn't think would experience it, I think it's now highlighting that we're all suffering, and that if we talk, we've got more chance of overcoming it and coming to grips with it, because it can just come in waves in life, because life doesn't run smooth every day, and that can be the jobs going wrong, not being paid. It could be anything that, a turn of fate, like one of your family members is ill. Life can just change on a sixpence and on a heartbeat, but the one constant is your bills and the stresses. So they don't change whether you're in a good place or a bad place. So when you're in a bad place, it's a horrible place to be in, and you need to talk, and you need to be able to voice that opinion before that opinion can run out of control.
Do you feel that you still struggle with it, or have you learnt by talking, you've learnt how to deal with it before you get into that state of panic or that struggle?
I think I've learned that I struggle with it more than what I thought.
Okay.
And I think that's because of the pressure being put on in life, on myself generally, that it highlights it more. And then obviously in COVID, when I spoke to other people, and I thought, well, he's got a perfect life. How can they struggle with it? And it was just simple things. I think one thing Mark said to me once about happiness, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what is happiness? And for me, it wasn't money. It wasn't how your football team's doing or how your kids are doing. It was about helping other people. Yeah. Helping other people gave me more satisfaction than anything else, to know that you'd help someone else, because you're in control of all the things that are in your family, your life, in there. But to help someone else that's struggling, I think is the most humane thing to do. And I think if everybody shared that same opinion, how much better off would the world be?
Without going too deep, I remember someone asking me once, when was the last time you felt joy? I thought, funny question. I was sitting there, I was in a Nero's having a coffee, and we was chatting away, and I can't remember how the subject came up, and he asked me this, and he's talking away. I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm thinking, I don't know actually. And what he meant by that, when was the last time you'd done something where you actually felt sort of excited about it, or
at peace, mainly.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I remember, and I still remember it now. I'm thinking, God, when was that? And you start thinking back, and you think, well, hold on, man, that was 3 years ago. It's got to be something else.
So in between.
Yeah. So it was really some really sort of difficult questions, actually.
You're a younger trainer every weekend. Yeah. That's your joy.
That was not very nice. It's just affecting my memory. So it's actually tequila rose over here. If I take that one.
Just love that. Jess, over to you for the next question there. Is there a stigma around discussing mental health among professionals in the industry, and what can be done to create more of an open and supportive culture?
Absolutely stigma, especially in the lift industry. I think mainly because it's a male-dominated industry, and a lot of men don't like to talk. A lot of men don't like to talk. It's like macho, don't show emotion, all of that kind of thing. When obviously everybody's human, everybody needs a hug every now and again, sit down, have a cup of tea, have a chat, which are just easy things that people can do. Just offer a listening ear to somebody if you know they're struggling. Like Mark said, you generally know if somebody is struggling. You can tell whether that's in their appearance, if they're not usually late and suddenly they're being late, all those kind of small changes in somebody. You can pick up on those and just ask questions. Are you okay? Do you want to sit down, have a drink, do you want a cup of tea? Pull somebody after work when there's nobody else around, just check in on them.
Target Lifts are proud to sponsor the Stuck in a Lift podcast in partnership with Blacks Productions, providing honest and detailed communication to ensure you are supported with your lift requirements. Target Lifts are always aiming higher.
Do you find that a lot of people, if I'm not okay, I'm one of these people that I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, and then brush it off? Do you find that a lot of people do that? And how do you get past that barrier of people just shutting you down?
See, that is the key, Alicia. How many times someone says, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. You're not. Because you don't want to say, actually, I'm not, and reel out the problems in fear of being one of them people who look at him and I'm not going to stop and talk to him now. Yeah, he's always got a problem. He's like a dark cloud over his head, you know what I mean? It's always raining. that is, and I think that's where you go to certain people to have the chats. Certain people you will just go, hello there. There's other people that you can open up to, because you don't know what you fear people team. Yeah, but he's got problems.
There's a lot of trust.
There's a lot of trust. It's a trust issue, is it all?
Yeah.
Trust issue.
I think sometimes people don't even know that there's something wrong until they stop and take a breath and then realise, because you just go through the motions all the time. Do you get up, you go to work, and it's only when you stop and you think, God, like, I just don't feel myself, or I need a mental health day, or I need a check-in. Yeah.
But that's a really hard thing to turn and say you're not, because
it's brave.
It is, because you feel like, I can only talk personally, but you feel like you failed at something, or you've let someone down by admitting that actually you can't do something. It's quite a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think, I do it now at times. You might not feel your greatest, and you'll say, someone say, are you okay? So, yeah, I'm all right. But, so I think it's something that maybe you'll do anyway. People will do. It's just a case of at what point that person's ready to let you in. They've got to be ready to sort of let you in, or get to a point, I think, sometimes, because it's an incredibly hard thing for someone to say, no, I'm not. That's quite a...
Even if they don't open up, though, sometimes just sitting and having a chat,
Yeah.
not necessarily about if they're struggling or what they're struggling with, just the fact that somebody has asked if you're okay.
That does
It's just enough.
Just talking about it, even though you haven't said I'm not okay, like, it's just talking about it. It's actually...
Yeah.
You've got to be quite observant and read the room, and read the face, read the expressions. I can tell on a phone call. I have a lot of phone calls all the time, so I'm in the van on my own quite a lot, and that keeps me sane, having them phone calls. And then people you tend to phone in are the ones you want to speak to, and they're normally the ones you can open up to.
Yeah.
And the fear is opening up and seeming weak, when it's not a weakness. It's a disease. It's a state of mind where it can affect anyone at any given time. And if more people actually talk and open up quicker, we won't lead on to the further repercussions of what can happen.
Yeah.
Do you think the struggle, say men struggle opening up more than women, is like a 50-50 split? Or do you think, what would you say the percentage is?
I think what's like the statistics online are men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women are,
Right.
which is massive. Yeah,
Huge.
so yeah, and especially in the industry where there are a lot of pressures and stuff, and people are working nights away from their family, maybe. It's difficult. So you have to make an effort to try and get people to open up.
Oh, 100%. Do you think it's work pressures, whether it's male or female, or do you think it's
Probably
because it's
both.
male?
It's probably like financial pressures. Kev's already mentioned. Maybe feeling like if you're the breadwinner, you've got to bring everything home for your family. Lots, like all different kinds of work pressures, not just in the lift industry.
Just because the lift industry is more male dominated?
It could be loneliness from, if you're from a split relationship, or it can be, that can leave you so much time to dwell and think over things that have gone wrong. What could you have done? Beating yourself up is probably a massive thing. People have got to remember that if you can't change the past, you can change the future. So if all the time you're looking backwards, you're not going forward in whatever it might be. Job, with your health issues, with family, overall, you might have been to prison in life, but you want to move on with your life. But you can't look back there. You've got to try and change the future. And mental health is so out there now. And Mark's work has done so much within our industry to highlight it. People do talk now, and that's all because of Mark's vision for it, and where he wants it to go, what it's done for people. Because the simple message is, if you save one person, you save one person.
Yeah.
That's one person. That's one less statistic you've saved.
Yeah.
So if you work along that and then you save more, everything's a bonus. But
Could I just ask that sort of quick? Because I don't know, actually. What you said there, do you think women open up more than men? Would you guys talk to your friends then about mental health?
I would.
Because I don't actually know, really, in that respect.
Yeah, we
I
don't-
can say
we don't
say
have a
men-
perspective
No,
to that.
that's what I mean.
No,
I
yeah.
say men don't necessarily, but they do more now, I'd say. But would you say?
For me, I think I talk less now than I did when I was in my normal 9 till 5.
Generally, women talk about emotions more.
Yeah.
And generally, women have closer friendships in the sense that they feel like they can open up because you're talking to somebody else who may also be feeling the same emotion, whereas I don't think, as a general rule, men do that.
I think you've also, like, women understand women's hormones and things like that and different times of the month. So I think it is
a subject I could broach. I'll probably get in trouble if I said.
But your stresses are different between the whole month, right? Because you've got different hormones, different emotions throughout the whole time. So I think on that sense, like, we could have a conversation in which way you get it. Whereas if I had a conversation, you may get it, you may not have a conversation.
You're going to know somebody on cab.
See, this is affecting my mental health. Does
The sleep thing's terrible though, because that's
a talk with
that's one of a good talker.
I also sleep, and I also find driving for long distances I really struggle, because even after
I find that quite therapeutic.
2 hours of music, I then go into myself and then I start overthinking, and then I'm in a worse state by the time I've arrived. Whereas if I had phone calls all day, I think that's really nice, because you're talking to people and you're like, I think that's important, because I do struggle with that.
Overthink it, like you say, I overthink everything.
Put podcast on. Something else to concentrate.
Just hold this one, because it's hard.
So the overthinking thing, I'll tell you when it got to a point for me was when I was laying wait one night, because I've got, at the end of my garden, I've got, I call it a shed, my wife calls it a cabin, right, and I've got like some bits and bobs up there, and there was a problem with the lock, and I woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm laying there and I'm thinking, I wonder what's wrong with that lock, and this is all going through my head, and I'm thinking, do you know what, I'm going to go down, I'm going to get some WD-40 in the morning, and we're going to the garage, and I'm going to spray it in the lock. And this is all 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Yeah, for the WD. And then I'm thinking, no, because if one of the kids puts the key in the lock, they'll get WD on the key, and if they put it in the trousers, they get WD on the trousers. You've then got to wash it out. So I'm starting going practice. It's true though, isn't it? Right? Yeah. So it gets to about 4:30 in the morning. Eventually I fall asleep, and I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, probably 8. You're tired, and arrive down here, right? And I come to this decision I weren't going to use WD. For all this thought in mind. Got up in the morning, that's it, I'm using WD. Squirted it and just walked off, and that was it, and left it. But I'd wasted about 2 hours in the night trying to decide if I was going to put WD-40 in a lock or not.
It's crazy, isn't it, how your brain works?
Yeah.
I've got really bad OCD, and I used to have it really bad as like a teenager, for like security. So I worry that I haven't locked the front door. Or if I
check it 10 times.
10 times. If I've put my straighteners on, I'm worried if I've unplugged them, then the house is going to burn down. I'm going to come
Some of them are normal
like
things.
4.
They're that way, though, aren't they? Because to worry about whether you left something on is not. Yeah, it's quite.
But I video it now.
Oh, okay.
So if I lock the door, I video it once, and then I don't think about it the rest of the day.
That's your coping mechanism.
That is how I get over it. Otherwise, I'll be overthinking that all day. There's been times as a kid I've texted my mum and I'm like, did I lock the front door? And she's like, well, I left before you. How do I know? And then I'm in panic mode, right? And then I'm like, I've gone home before to check. So that's where my overthinking goes.
So
but now I video it everywhere.
Do you find you video less? Now you've got that reassurance that actually, because worrying about some things is quite normal. Worrying about whether you left a straightener on or not locked the front door. Me and my wife were going out some years ago, went out, and neither of us shut the front door.
I've done that later.
Right? So we put the kids in the car, driven off, come back, the front door's been open.
Wow.
They've been robbed.
Yeah.
And we've gone in, looked around, and I said to Hayley, did you shut the door? She said, well, why is it my job to shut the door? You should have shut the door.
Is it a blue job or is it a pink job?
Yeah, that's an important question.
I've got out of my car before now and left the car door open and just gone.
That was very bright.
So some things, but it got to a point where it was, by yourself, it was probably a little bit.
I think it's eased off slightly, but I've still done it.
Yeah.
Done it this morning. Locked the door. Yeah. Took a video of it. If I unplugged the strainers. Every day. And the more tired I am or exhausted, the worse it is.
Do you think you'll get to a point where you'll be like, okay, I've got faith in myself now that I don't have to video it and no one will have locked it?
It's been about 20 years, so I'm not too sure if that's going to improve anytime soon. It might.
My boy broke 2 door handles for the same thing. That.
Mm-hmm. Just constantly
Yeah.
Maybe just try like hypnosis or something.
Yeah. I'd love that. Because it's a stress that I don't need in my head, right? The door shut, whatever, go work.
I do that. Do you know what? I sometimes double back in the car to make sure I've done it.
This is making me feel better.
And I don't.
These things
like you.
I don't,
Like you, I don't want to ring my mum up. Look, can you look on the Ring doorbell, the cameras, to see if I've shut the door? Because then she'll panic.
Yeah.
And then I have to go in the when I leave the house, I have to go back into the kitchen, make sure all the hobs are off, the switches are all down, and then the door closed again, and then I have to close the door and make myself watch it close.
It's a routine, isn't it?
routine.
Before you leave the house, yeah.
So lots of people do it.
You're not anywhere.
I feel better now. Guys,
Yeah, the problem. You know, you're not the only crazy person out there. I'm in the same
we'll
bracket.
compare photos later.
Hey, you've been no good. What's your routine do? Keep that around.
Yeah. Okay, so next question, Mark, over to you. How do irregular hours, emergency call-outs, on-call responsibilities affect work-life balance and long-time physical well-being for the in the lift industry?
I think we probably touched on it already in the sleep, really, because a lot of I think there's different stresses from different parts of the industry. You've got stresses in the office, where people probably work longer than what they should work and things like that, and then you've got stresses in the field. And I think when it comes, say, to the field side, you've got your call out, things like that, and when you're being called out at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, sometimes you've got responsibilities the next day, whether you should go in, shouldn't go in, but a lot of engineers still go in and do stuff. And then you got things that, you get asked to do a job at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you get there and it's never what you expect. Mm-hmm. And you've got something planned that evening. You're supposed to be going out that evening. You're supposed to be... So it impacts your personal life there. And I would say it impacts your personal life on call out as well, and sleep and things like that on call out. Especially if you get called back to places, because sometimes you'll go and do a call out and you won't necessarily... It's been years since I've done a call out, but you won't necessarily find out what it is straight away. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not really that bothered. You might get the thing up and running, can't see the obvious problem, put it in service. You can get an hour down the road, you get a call again. You got to go back, especially if you're working in retail environments and things like that. Then they need it running.
Do managers? Do you think managers think about this when they go, I need you to go out, it's 2 in the morning? Do they think about that, or do they just want to get that job done?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
I think some do, some don't. They're getting stresses from other places that you as an engineer might not necessarily see, but it doesn't it could be up to the manager then to try and take that off the engineer and manage that with the client. I think that is quite hard, because I think depends on the person.
Is it to say overall, could managers be better at thinking?
Probably depends on the company and if they're short-staffed and stuff.
I think,
They're under pressure as self-managers.
Yeah.
Because they're given things to do from the directors that they don't actually want. It's not their words, so that they have to deliver the message to the engineer. I think a lot of pressure on. You have to look at it from both angles, and
it's actually a really difficult thing.
Downhill.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you're near the bottom, then you're going to cop it more from the one above, because he's copped it from the one above him. I know.
I think it's a hard question, because it, like I said, it does depend on the circumstances, the manager. I think there's always probably a way of managing it slightly better, but there is. I personally think, when we sort of before the podcast, we got the questions through as we did, and obviously Jess has kindly colour coded them and not helps. And
everyone loves the colours.
For that, but it's great. For that, obviously, I then lazily took some stuff that I'd written some time ago off the website, and then sort of using that as an example. There's actually quite a lot there, wasn't there? Really, there was far too much, and there's stuff I'm never going to remember. But that was stuff that I wrote sort of 3 years ago. But the lists for managers, and there was lists for engineers, and all the different stresses were unbelievable. Now, if you think of the responsibility of an engineer, if you sit back, he's responsible for maintaining the equipment, doing any Lola related items on the equipment, the safety of the equipment,
to those high
passengers going in the equipment, and if you actually sit down and look at it, and then you've got the actual physically working on the equipment as well.
And pressures from site. So when they're out to site. Obviously, when you're working in an office, you might get phone calls. We're not face to face.
Yeah.
And I've had instances. I'm not going to say, the chain, but I was in a supermarket chain where I had to remove a part from the lift, and the manager has actually prevented me from leaving the shop. Yeah, he actually said to me, "Where are you going with that?" I said, "Well, it needs repairing. I'll take it away to repair it." He said, "Well, I need it running." I said, "Well, I can put it back, but it ain't going to be running." No, actually, he prevented me from actually leaving the premises. And there's things like that go on, and there's other pressures, and it always happens on a Friday at 5 o'clock when you don't want it to. So I think all these things probably affect different people in different ways. Like I said, mine was sleep, but there's probably other things that affect other people. Overthinking, the need for wanting to do a job perfectly. If I'm doing something, if it's a square, I want it to be a square. If it's something slightly out, I can do that again. I'm measuring as an example, but that sort of thing. Sometimes people strive to perfection, and sometimes you just got to let it go.
Yeah, and then you get the other people that like that do.
Yeah.
It works. It goes up and down.
Yeah. So, I think there's pressures all over, really.
Target Lifts are proud to provide qualified and experienced field staff to ensure all reactive repairs, call-outs and technical visits are completed in a timely fashion. Our management and administration staff are entirely focused on providing a customer service experience that is second to none. Target Lifts can provide expert maintenance on all types of single lift and group installations. We offer a 24-hour, 7 days a week emergency call-out service, of which we are committed to ensuring all calls are 100% attended to in the agreed service level times. To find out more, visit targetliftlimited.co.uk today.
So we've covered the next question, so I'm going to give you a new question, Kev, all right? You haven't rehearsed this one.
Wow.
It's because Mark's already answered that one.
It's already asked one question. There's a trick one.
So you can switch places if you want. You can...
Might be a different colour, Jess.
Yeah, you're going to be green for a minute. You're going to be green for a minute. So, Kev.
Thank you, Alice.
Mr. Green. What mental health support systems are currently in place for the industry? And how effective are they in addressing job-related stresses and burnout?
What's in position, you mean specifically for our industry or just generally?
For our industry.
Our industry, where you've seen Lift Mental Health Charter.
Go on, say it louder.
Lift Mental Health Charter. Yes. The best out there. And our family. Jess. And you've got, obviously, you have to put the the Lift charity in there.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of good work in situations that would affect mental health, like if there's a suicide or someone die. They help out as well. There's not enough because we're only sort of getting to the point now where the stigma's sort of being brought down. Yeah. It's recognised now. It's recognised as a real thing. It will be involved in team talks, toolbox talks. Yeah. They will mount. I'd like to see more toolbox talks be actually on the subject of mental health within the lift industry, because then you would get people in a room, lots of them talking, and you would start to find, which I've been on the workshops, you tend to find people across the table you've known for a long time actually share their fears and their hopes, and it then encourages someone else. And that's the whole process of opening up and communication.
I think that happens a lot on the courses with Petra, doesn't it? People that you may never have met before, you start opening up.
Certainly, that's creating that safe space. And people feel like they can open up.
It's moving away from it being a taboo. Oh God, he's the one with mental health issues. No, it's not a stigma. And moving away from the taboos to be able to say, do you know what? I'm not all right. This is what's wrong in my life. I don't know how to change it. I'm vulnerable. It's the fear of people seeing you as weak or vulnerable, especially as a man. I mean, women will probably, I would say, open up more to each other because they've got more of an emotional connection with each other. Where men's connection is, oh, yeah, want to go drink, go down to the pub, yeah, full line, kebab, That no problem, I'm good as gold, brilliant, all that, tickety boo, right, and it's that macho image of, I'm all right, my shoulders can take everything, and not everyone's shoulders can take everything. And if you do, and then you find the safe space, you open up, you talk about it with people that you've known for a long time, and you might get the odd person who talks your business or makes a point of it, but then that amount of times of that happening and people doing it now is changing because the mindset's changing, the stigma's changing, and it's not a taboo anymore. It's a real thing, and it takes real lives. So, like we said, to save one life, you've done your job.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well?
That's-
When you talk
you
about Pink.
Pink is not speaking.
When you talk about mental health, it doesn't always have to be the bad stuff. Like, let's just say you were struggling behind closed doors, and I come and I say, oh, yesterday I went on a hike or I went to the gym. I felt a bit rubbish before, and then I felt brilliant afterwards. Then you might think, oh, I'm going to go and get out on a walk, feel a bit rubbish. I'm going to go out and do the same thing, and maybe I'll feel a little bit better. It doesn't always have to be the negative stuff that people have to talk about. Like, you can be a champion, just let people know all the things that you can do that will make you feel good afterwards, not just drowning in the negative.
Is that because when you do a run, you're losing, or some sort of activity,
Endorphins.
you're losing
Yeah.
natural, the bad energy in you. You're sort of taking it out of your body by running.
I think it just gets endorphins going, it gets your adrenaline going.
Adrenaline going, and that sort of clears that sort of them thoughts or them chemicals.
It's not going to get
Make up
rid
in
of
your mind.
any problems that you have, but it might make your head feel a little bit
little
lighter, about
chemical
a
in
little
your
bit of
mind,
clarity.
yeah.
Yeah. So if by just suggesting some of those good, feel good things might help somebody who doesn't necessarily want to say, I'm drowning here.
Do you find that sometimes people don't want a solution, right? They just want to talk. They just need to get it off their chest. So how do you read the room to know, right, that person needs a solution to get them out of it, or that person just wants to talk and not hear the solution?
By listening to what they're saying.
Okay.
And then if you say something back, gauge the response. If it's a one-word answer, it's a closed shop. You've got to coax that one out. If the answer's sort of sentences, you know that you've unlocked it, and then just listen. Then ask little questions. But sometimes you've got to do it the other way round. If you need to extract it from them, make them feel safe.
Yeah, I think it's nice to just have a natural conversation with someone because you get more out of that conversation, and then sometimes you might reflect on it at the end of the conversation. You might reflect on it at the end of that conversation, and you might even leave the room. You might think, oh, do you know what? I'm not sure if they're actually fully all right, or you might leave it and be quite happy that you just had a conversation. So I think it does probably depend on the circumstances around it, and that's actually one of the things that Petra goes through when Petra does the courses. Some different sort of role play circumstances, some of the things to look out for, and it'll be some of them signs that you would look out for. But some people do, and a lot of people do disguise them very well, as when I was doing it. Well, you probably think you do, but people probably notice it. But yeah, some people do disguise them very well. But I think it does depend on that, how the conversation goes. Yeah.
Just, do you think that companies are doing enough in 2025 to support mental health?
In the lift industry, I would say no.
No.
But obviously it's growing, and the momentum that the Charter has picked up in the last 2 years is great. But we've spoken about it before. I think sometimes it's just a tick box exercise to say, oh yeah, we're supporting this, we're supporting that. We've got, a policy in place that's maybe downloaded from the internet or isn't necessarily specific to their business. I think a lot more should be done.
What can they do?
I know some companies do work buddies, so you've always got somebody to check in on and somebody to check in on you, especially if you're working alone. Mental health days is now a big thing, not in our industry but generally. Flexible working to make sure people have got the right balance between work and family life and that kind of thing. Even just coffee mornings, maybe offering a space for people to sit down and have a tea and coffee before they go out to work. All kinds. You should. Every company should have a mental health advocate or champion, somebody who is maybe not responsible because that's putting pressure on them, but where everybody else knows they can go and speak to that person if necessary. Get them one of our free courses. Get with Petra.
How do people get on the course? What's the...
Yeah, so we normally, a lot of the courses are advertised on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You have to excuse me, so I don't know exact dates, but I think there's another 2 to go this year potentially.
Yeah.
I think there's one at DAC and one at ANA's possibly, and excuse me if I've got that wrong, but a lot of them are advertised on LinkedIn. They're on our website. So on the actual website itself, on the actual services, we need to talk about what services are available. There's over 30 independent services listed on the website.
Like mind and smart.
Yeah, they're all listed on there. So you can, rather than searching around for different services, which is quite often or what I try to do, and then you think, well, they all look the same to me, I don't know. They're actually all there listed. Not all of them, but there's a lot listed there in one place.
Right.
There's also an independent free counsellor listed on the website. There's some financial services listed on the website.
All of our details are on there as well. So if anybody, wanted to have a chat or wanted to book on a call,
all those
in contact us.
Right.
Yeah, we're on, and there's now international pages on the website. So there's actually services different places around the world. So if you work in America, there's some places listed on there. There's ones in Australia, I think in South Africa, in Europe. There's some other services listed there as well. So there's actually quite a lot actually listed on there.
When you do one of them, Petra gives
Sorry, the course. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
that was the question.
when you do one of the courses, Petra gives like really good techniques and really good signposts, and like I remember I got a little card that had some like not like instructions, but even when you are a mental health first aider, you can't necessarily like diagnose somebody or advise, but what you can do is say, here are some places that you can look to speak to somebody.
Signpost, isn't it?
Yeah,
For a
yeah.
signposting. If you're going to clarify, it's a signpost, isn't it?
And then that it might help. You never know, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to take part. Sorry, just on that, to take part. There's a few ways you can do it. If you see it on LinkedIn, you can either contact us, or I think the dates are actually listed on the website, and there's an events page on there. I'm sure they are listed on there, and you can just contact us through the help on there as well. Yeah. Sorry.
No. It's the one thing that you notice about when you're talking about the courses and who can give this. It is so woolly, and people can only signpost. You can't even do a qualification to signpost. You can't give advice. But if you think about the situation, if someone's up on the bridge, don't worry, mate. Mind, here's the number, and go up there and pass him the number.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, would you, in that situation?
But you can't. At that point, you are at the realization of the sharp end of it, where you're going to help. You're going to try and talk to someone. I think.
So just on that, right? AI. And how AI can help this situation. There was a huge post the other day about someone asked ChatGPT where the tallest building was in London because they wanted to jump off it.
Oh, okay.
Awful. But ChatGPT told them the tallest building. And the thing was around it was like, well, AI is not emotionally intelligent enough to go, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. How can we help you get you down? So how do you think AI is going to creep into the mental health industry?
Oh, that's something else. I've never considered it. Mate, I'm honest with you. I've not thought about it.
Honestly think that that's a long time before that.
You think so?
Because AI hasn't got human emotions.
It's the emotion.
If you're liking it, there's a film, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Crocodile Dundee. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he's in New York.
I'm worried now.
There's a jumper. Yeah. So Crocodile Dundee, being as he is, you know what I mean, the bushman, he went up and sat next to him. And he was shot. I think he was sharpening his pencil on his knife. And the bloke sort of then questioning him, what are you doing up here?
Yeah.
He went, oh, it's a nice view up here. Yeah, it's a nice place as well. And it was this surreal situation in New York with the pressure's massive. In the 80s that would have been. And he's jumping up and there's Crocodile Dundee who's gone up there to talk him down. Because it was the only way that he knew how to do it.
It's being human, isn't it?
It's being it was his human way of doing it. And I think when you're at the sharp end of that, when you're at that point where they're serious, they're going to go through, I think you have to act a lot different and use your human emotions. Now, going back to AI is not going to go and sit next to you on the girder on top of the thing, is it? It's not going to be in the bathroom and you've got a bag of pill or a razor. So therefore, AI has to come along a lot in terms of emotion, maybe picking up tone of voice. I don't know how they would do it, but that's where human emotion and human chat will always be better in those situations at this particular moment in time.
Do you think suicide percentage would go up higher because of this, right? because
we don't know. We don't
because
know.
of the response chat GPT is
Yeah.
given to people that are asking these questions.
That's a really, really good question.
Yeah.
Because obviously someone asking what the tallest big building in London is, I probably wouldn't necessarily put two and two together. But if
Would
someone,
you, though?
I
I would.
was about to say
Somebody
that.
asked me
Just
face
about
to
to
face,
say
what's the
that.
tallest
Yeah, I'm
building?
not
I wouldn't
sure
assume
that
they
would be
wanted to
my
jump
first.
off.
The end of the
thought.
wording was because I want to jump off.
Oh, that's.
That's it.
They still gave them the tallest
Okay,
building.
sorry, I misunderstood. Oh, okay, well that was a little bit. So yeah, going back to what Kevin said, it's probably got a long way to go then. But
It's learning so fast. Like AI's rapid, isn't it? It's not going to be long before there's
How
caveats.
far it's come along, he is amazing.
Yeah.
He is amazing.
But you could probably use it for stuff now for a signposting perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you could probably talk. I've never actually tried it. I'll be honest with you. And I'm sitting there thinking now that I wonder. I'm curious to know some of the answers it would give. But you could probably, if you say to AI, I'm feeling, I don't know, a little bit down or anxious. Have you got any advice or services? I wonder what it would
There's
say.
loads. I'm sure
AI could.
That would give you a positive
Yeah.
answer.
I wonder.
Yeah, but you're asking to be signposted, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're talking about it picking up on what it's saying as an emotion. So, well done. What's this person asking this question for?
I do think though, if you asked it, I want to overdose, what's the best amount of paracetamol I should take? It would tell you how many paracetamol to take,
Yeah.
which is also very scary, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because they just see it as a rhetorical question,
Yeah.
don't they?
Exactly. So on a positive note, if anyone's listening right now that's having a bit of a tough week, over to you, Jess. What's one thing that someone can do this week to make them feel a little bit more
She's
positive?
come down south just to keep the mental health.
I would say just get outside, get some fresh air, move your body. Whether you are just gonna go for a walk, whether you want to go on your own, go with friends, just get outside, move your body. Yeah, I think it's the easiest way. It doesn't cost any money. It's easy to clear your head, maybe give you some clarity on some things. Leave your phone at home. Like, don't be answerable to anybody. Just choose you for that hour, and just use that time to calm yourself down, and then maybe go back and you might feel a little bit better. That's what I do anyway. I know if I'm getting a bit stressed or a bit overwhelmed, the first thing I'll do is just get the dog and go out for a walk.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
Kev, have you seen...
This is a question that's been planned over, so you can spring
Kev goes straight to the pub, that's what he does.
No, this one's planned. Have you seen anything unexpected along your journey in the lift industry? I'm sure you've seen loads, but just one that you enjoyed.
It was there was someone in the lift industry who I brought into the industry who was a neighbour who was just doing a job in a factory doing electronic boards. And I thought, well, that's a good little in for lift engineering, and I needed someone to work with me. He came to work with me, massively changed his life, loved the lift industry, embraced it, had his first holiday because of the money he earned there compared to there. It enriched his life and his family. He then lost his life within the industry. And that was a massive thing, because you always hear of someone else in a cab or someone else say they've been in the situations, first people on the scene and all the rest of it. But when it's actually someone that's very close to home, it's like, this never happened. This never happened to me. I don't know this, and it does, and how it implodes on people's lives and well-being from that point onwards is just shocking. It's absolutely shocking. Yeah, his name was Peter Knight. He was a really nice boy, and he lost his life in the industry. So, and like I said, that is the reality, that we are in an industry that can kill. We have to have a clean, good mindset when we're doing jobs within this industry, because one mistake due to maybe your mind not being on the job can cost you your life or a serious injury, and that's what we have to take into consideration, that this industry, as much as we love it, it does have that.
It's serious.
It's serious side. It's dangerous, and lift mental health affects everybody. It affects everyone in the industry, and the stresses and strains of day-to-day life, routes, getting jobs done, workload, probably things you've got to rush home for to get, and you just got to sit back and just take your time to do everything. Take a second to think, because you just do not know what's round that next corner in life. And if things do happen, if things change forever and they never change back. So we should always be mindful of each other and how we're all thinking and feeling.
Yep. So we've added a new question in this season. The previous guest asked you guys a question, so you don't know what's coming.
Oh,
Don't know what's coming. So Mr. David Cooper has asked you guys a question. So if you was to join the industry again, would you take a different route, or would you carry on doing what you're doing?
I would take a completely different route.
What would you do?
Because my mind wasn't being on a lift engineer when I first started. I basically didn't get my football career off the ground. And my dad was sort of said, "Right, you're going to be a lift engineer. You're going to go into an apprenticeship." And I didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
I made a lot of friends. There was a lot of socialising at the time. I didn't pay as much attention. I was very cocky, very arrogant. You know, I just didn't want to be a lift engineer at that particular moment in time. So with sharing the same, now I've got such a good passion for it and really want to succeed. And we brought 2 apprentices through and they both passed with flying colours, which is a credit to them. And my dad always wanted me to give back to the industry, and that's the way of giving back, by training people, because we've done away with 2 mountain working, which hindered the industry. So would I do it again? My apprenticeship, I would take much more time over it. I would ask more questions. And I met someone on Saturday at a birthday party, and he goes, "Never the first time we met, he asked me to hold a bracket up in the lift shaft." I went, "You can hold your own bloody bracket." And he chased me round the side of the buildings again. "You're never going to catch him," because I was fast, you know.
Yeah.
But now I would hold that bracket up. I'd ask him why he was doing it.
Yeah.
I'd ask more questions. I want to be better at what I was doing, because now in later life I'm becoming better at it, and I'm doing stuff that I would never done as a kid in the industry. Hindsight. So if there's anything you can pass on to the next generation, be the generation that hindsight, that they take heed of what people say and do it rather than ask questions. Because otherwise like in my case, you get to 30 and then you started learning.
Yeah.
If I started learning when I was 16, I'd be so much further along in the world.
Do you think that's an age thing, though? Do you think?
I think
maturity is
It
it?
is.
it is maturity, but the lift industry was a lot different then. You know, you're talking 1994 or 95. Lift industry was all father and son. It was uncles. It was everyone, and there was such a
3.
eh?
I was 3.
Yeah, plus 10.
Oh, sorry, too.
But
I think we're being picked on here, Joe. Yeah, isn't they?
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
I'm only 21 from a distance beyond a wall.
21 and then.
the industry then was such a strong social element to it that we just all gelled. And there was no social media.
That makes
Social media has
difference.
played a massive difference in life as a whole, including mental health. So back then it was freer, you know. Your kids went out and played Kirby, and you went out.
You come home when the lights
Come
went
home when the lights went out. No, you never had computers, you never had phones. You know, my first phone was like something off the Starship Enterprise.
Damn, one of theirs, it come out like-
Air will come out halfway into space. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
signal.
No one lived outside the M25, so after 7 1-to-1, 7 in the evening, 7 in the morning, free. I was ringing up everyone, "Dad, oh, how you doing? You all right?" My dad used to say that's how I lost my hair, because I was on the phone so much, he really killed my hair.
I remember you used to have to put it down after an hour and then ring them.
Yeah, bring it back again. Yeah, you get the hour. Oh, the hour was gone. Yeah, put it down. Oh, I've got another hour again now. Here we go. Where do we know that from? Yeah.
I actually think the industry, you can do really well with the lift industry. I think that it's been good for me over the years, I'd say, you know, from both sort of family and financial and et cetera, and I think if people can come into the industry and they're interested in it and they apply themselves, they can do really well.
Yeah.
They embrace
You're
it.
living for it.
So embrace it, Mark.
Yeah,
and
you can
embrace
make
it.
a good living from it.
If I wasn't doing what I was doing, I would be a lift engineer. If I learned back, I'd be a lift engineer.
Would you be on construction service or modernisation?
Construction.
Yeah, let's get stuck in. Stuck in a lift.
Come on in, guys. Who do you want to be stuck in a lift with?
Can't say Alice, can we?
No one's ever asked me that.
No,
Maybe you can. You could be stuck in a lift with me. I just want to know why. You can choose.
I let him think.
You can go.
I'll go first, and I'll let him think about his answer now.
Okay.
So I'm quite into my Formula One,
Okay.
and one of the biggest travesties that I think has happened in recent years is what happened between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi in 2021, and what went on there is an absolute. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen. So I would like to be stuck in a lift with Max Verstappen to see if you can get his view on it, whether he thought it was fair or not, what actually took place there. But that's just me. I'm being into Formula One. So yeah.
I know nothing about Formula One.
Hamilton, if you're
It's
watching.
cars, it's got four wheels, they go around the track, that's it. About 20 minutes.
I'm not, I like Formula One. I'm not like a huge Lewis Hamilton fan, but when I see something that's unfair, it riles me. I just, and I'd love to know.
Okay.
Not that I'd ever get an answer for him. Let's face it. But it's just, we'll
stop the
pretend
lift and try and get an answer
we'll
if you want.
pretend that he will give me an answer.
Yeah.
So,
Just stop it in between. Press the car communication that doesn't work. Right, you answer the question there, you're not getting
you've had
that.
a little bit of time to think now, mate.
I'm now thinking.
Still thinking. Okay, I'm going Chloe Kelly. We're going to do for Lionesses. That's who I'd be stuck in a lift with. Chloe Kelly.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Very amazing.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. So yeah.
Especially with the
Give her a big, massive congratulations.
semi-finals when she missed the penalty but followed up and scored it. That is a measure. Good measure.
I'd want the trophy in the lift too, though. Right?
You don't want much, you
Selfie.
know. The trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris should have seen.
She's talking about a 2,000 kg car lift here. Alice is running there. Oh, and have them all come in. And the whole team. Oh, and the productions and the training squad as well. All get in the car lift.
Yeah.
It was unreal, yeah. I was in a pub watching it, and the pub's got like a huge beer garden and a big screen in the back, and everybody just went, oh, yeah.
I went down to watch them come home on the bus, and it was heaving.
I can imagine.
Heaving. I think it was like 65,000 people there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Unreal.
I took the camera down there just to get some pictures, but yeah, it was heaving.
I'm gutted I couldn't go. It's the first one I've missed. Right?
Is it?
Yeah. I had to work away. Yeah.
Come then, who are you going to step in?
Industry.
It's like an EastEnders. Doof, doof, doof.
If he doesn't say me now, we're really upset.
Oh, no pressure here. Right, it was 2, but now it's going to be 3 because we've had a little think about it.
3? I don't know if these are
Three
the rules.
people.
Go on. Come then.
No, because we
You're going to have a third of us.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Right.
Oh, that's allowed then, that's allowed.
You were
I'm not even going to
second
say who Alice is, but she's here. Alice, you'd be one of them
Okay, love that.
because you could film it, be part of it, ask the questions that I would want to ask that I would probably miss with the people. So therefore, we'd have it with George behind the camera there, the man that makes it all work. So we would that would capture it right, because there's moments in time where you meet people that you want to meet that you don't ask what you want to ask, and you're not prepared for it. So therefore, the moment goes. So I wouldn't want the moment to go.
I'll be there as your support.
Janice,
Okay.
can bring it.
We're now getting a stuck in the lift
now.
podcast, stuck in a lift.
That was the original plan, I'll tell you
Bring
about
it.
It's good for my mental health, thank you. And I'd like in there Elvis.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
there's 2 people to Elvis, because Elvis, I'd love to. I mean, if he suffered with mental health, he suffered with addiction.
Yeah.
I'd love to ask him questions about how he felt, with them, because he had a tight bunch of people, the Memphis Mafia, because he didn't really trust a lot of people outside in the industry.
You were hangers on, weren't they?
They were hangers on, but they were his close counsel. Even back then, he kept the counsel because he was barred from places as being too provocative and and it would have been nice to see his point of view, and then obviously to sing a few songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love me to build.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Oh, it's Elvis.
Yeah,
Generations are gonna. They're slowly gonna forget Elvis. My youngest daughter only knows Elvis because my mum goes on and on and on about him. She wouldn't know otherwise. So between an 18 and a 13-year-old now, that has been lost. So by the time
Pretty old then, but now I feel old, right?
time it gets down to the next generation, these things are going to be gone. These Frank Sinatras, these people that really have affected people's well-being in the mind. Their music affects your mind, and it's a good way to release.
I had work experience with me the other day, and she didn't know who Craig David was.
I hope you was walking away.
Yeah, it was on a Monday or a Tuesday.
He killed on Saturday.
Yeah.
What? I've just
That's
aged
mental.
20 years.
I'm sure he still has like residencies in.
He's still making songs now.
Yeah.
He's in a care home at the moment. It's wrong. It's wheelchair light. It's wrong.
I see the Elvis exhibition at London Bridge. I didn't see that.
The second person.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the third, because Alice is in there now, isn't she? And George is full.
Pushing it, isn't it?
I know. It's only once he lived. Look, it's 1,000 kg. I'll get a few more in there. And Terry Earlock was one of my favourite ever Millwall players. He just signified Millwall as a club, supporters, who we are, what we are, from South London and East London originally. And to ask him the questions about being in that first team that took us up to what is the first division, now is called the Premier League, and the celebrations and what happened around them times, to have them conversations with him would be absolutely amazing. I have met him, and he's a brilliant person. I think you might have seen him when he was a brilliant on the Mill Hospitalities. But to have that conversation, have him and Elvis together, two legends.
We're going to have to stop this for a week.
And then Alice. Alice in there as well.
I'm honoured.
And then George will make it so that we can watch it over again. It'll be timeless. So every time you did feel down, you could just put that on and go, oh, look at that. That was hilarious. Because we get that with I get that with Lions Television, which I do the podcast, not podcast, is it a vlog on there? A vlog.
Vlog, yeah.
And sometimes if I'm feeling a bit down, I think of an old one. I just type it into YouTube and it comes up, and it's great.
And he watches himself.
Yeah, because
Battle between you and Danny.
I don't know if you know Dan Goodwin, who does that. He's very creative, like you, Alice, and people don't realise that get into podcasting that it's not just someone like me coming on, acting silly, being stupid, making people laugh. The people behind the scenes, like your Georges and your Alice, and asking the questions, they're the real clever people that make these things work and tick. And if they're a way of us getting the messages across, like Lift Mental Health and within the industry, then it's the way forward. Social media doesn't have to be negative. It can be used in a positive way to get the message out to the masses and affect what happens going forward in lives.
Indeed.
Who do you be stuck in a lift with?
Mate.
This changes every time.
Huh?
Yeah, you can ask the questions.
Okay, I think you had it.
Yeah, you can ask questions, because I'll be starstruck.
Mutual respect between us now.
You can ask the questions. Maybe Alex Scott. Because I think she's great. As stage presence and her football background and how she's got to, and like her and Jess as well, I think it's really cool. So yeah, maybe Alex Scott today.
She's somebody to a pioneer for women's football.
Yeah. Huge. Sure. Yeah. And she just seems so down to earth, like just
Jill,
normal.
What's the job on Jill?
Jill Scott.
Jill Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. So tall. Don't realise it.
Yeah, we won't have earrings after feel really short.
I've enjoyed the commentary of, the women's commentary mixed in with Ian Wright and a few other foot professionals. It gives a different perspective on football.
Yeah.
And
you wouldn't also...
And it's relevant to the women's football.
Yeah. But also you play football, but you gain some sort of like stage presence on how to like talk with mics and things like that. And you don't just play football, you've got acting skills at the same time. Yeah. It's clever. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks, George.
I enjoy working there and I enjoy my role.
Well, that's the main thing, right?
Yeah,
no matter how stressful it is, if you love getting up in the morning and going to work.
Yeah, it's nothing worse getting up in the morning, knowing people think, oh, gotta go to work.
What's the strangest request that you've had? That you've gone, there's no way on earth that's going to work?
We've put belts on the wall and was
we had a job.
Leather
belts. I went out on the roof and I looked up and literally there was a helicopter about 20 foot above my head and there was all police sitting on the side with guns, and I thought that wasn't what I was expecting.
Target Lifts has a YouTube channel. Subscribe and view our recent company promotional video, A Day in the Life of an Engineer, and more recently, 3 customer reviews where the clients get to say what they really think about the service Target Lifts provides. Give them a watch today. Target Lifts, always aiming higher.